Oh, it is running. Hi, Aries. I wasn't sure. The button was kind of weird. I didn't see it. I didn't see the little numbers start. Hi. Thanks for coming. Thanks for tuning in to my channel. I'm doing the full moon reading. This time it is in the sign of Libra. I've only done one so far. It was a personal reading. And that one was all about harmony and balance. So we'll see what happens here. I'm using the Light Seers Tarot, asking Spirit what this full moon will be revealing. What will come to light in the brightness of the full moon for Aries? Spirit, what will come to light for the Aries folks in this full moon in Libra? Don't worry, I saw that one flip over. I will pull this out. And a bunch more flopped over. We're going to take them. So I'll finish the deck. Okay, we'll see where we are here. Wow, this one shows up every time. I started this one before, and it was really clunky, so I redid it. And all the other cards are new, but this Four of Swords has shown up, and it showed up in a personal reading I just did before the Aries reading. Interesting. Interesting. And then we have Judgment at the bottom of the deck. Since 6 came out, I'm going to just stack them a little bit so they make a little easier to see and to read. Okay, so before I get too involved in here, I'm going to go to the Energy Oracle and see what the overall energy of the reading is. Oops. Spirit, what is the overall reading for my Aries people? Full moon in Libra. What is the overall energy of this reading for the full moon in Libra for my Aries friends? Okay, that's amazing. Okay, it seems that there's a call to your spiritual path here, because the Hierophant came up. Well, not the Hierophant. Judgment, which is also a call to your spiritual practice. Okay, this is interesting. You have a lot of swords here. I'm going to switch things around just so that they're all together because it's easier to read that way. So the Five of Swords basically is conflict. It might motivate you to make some choices. Four of Swords. Fours are usually about a pause or taking a break. It could be a little vacation. It also could be exposing your shadow side. Seven of Swords. Swords. This one could be about deceit. It could be something sneaky. A reminder to just take what you need. So there's some kind of off energies in those swords. Swords are in the head. It's the intellect. Down below you've got the Lovers. Could be lovers, but normally it's about a duality. There's choices that need to be made, or that you might be I don't want to say, I'm trying to not say force, but you might end up in a position where there is a decision that needs to be made. The good news is that cups are here, and I feel like this is what's available to you. I'm gonna go. I feel like this is stuff that you kind of gotta get rid of, and the choice is, I think, about doing some work, and then you get to have this and this. Eight of Cups is just walking away. Just walking away. You don't need it, whatever. It's just done. You're done. It's not like a horrible thing, but you can see that there's some light here, the little fire, little ashes and sparks. But it's bright over here, so she doesn't need this little fire anymore. She can just walk towards the big burning sun and have way more light and way more warmth and be nourished in that light. So it's not like it could be rejection, but it's not in a big way. It's just, this has served its purpose. Now she's moving toward the thing that is going to be more beneficial. And this is friendship, celebration, collaboration, community. This is about closeness, togetherness, and I want to just friendship and collaboration. So it could be work, could be friends, could be family, could be anybody, but anyone that you have a heart connection with in any capacity of your life. I should switch these because it seems like you're making a choice to walk away, and this is what's available. I'm going to read you what these say because there's more meanings behind these things than I can always remember. So I want to not... Oh, you got another 4. Okay, 4 of Pentacles. This could be... Okay, so normally I feel like 4s are pretty stable. They're taking a pause. But this is a little bit about hoarding. She's hanging on to that purse. Hanging on to the pentacles in the purse. She is not looking at anyone. She's being a little bit stubborn, and she's holding on to this for dear life. The 7 of Swords is, it can be about deceit. It can be about, taking more than you need, a little bit about greed, so these two together, I think this is just a caution. Don't take more than you need. Don't hang on too tight to things that, like this, that you can walk away from. Things that you hang on too tight, if you hang on too tight to certain things, you prevent the opportunity for this sun to come up. That's just what I'm seeing. Knight of Wands, this is creative energy, moving quickly, total confidence, excitement. This is the fire in your belly kind of passion. But watch out, there's this guy, he's been showing up today too. And so is Justice, which makes sense, because this is all in Libra, right? Queen of Pentacles showed up earlier today too. I only did one reading, and a lot of these cards showed up. But it was a different deck, so it's not the same. I mean, some of them were the clarifier deck that I used. Queen of Pentacles. Okay, let's just go one more, and then I'm not going to go back any further. This too is about teamwork, cooperation, etc. Queen of Pentacles. She's creative, nurturing energy. She's the one who can, her energy will promote your affluence because she's Pentacles. It could be money related, or at least something manifesting in the material world. But she's great energy. She is kind of like a Mother Earth energy, not as divine as the Empress. She's a more earthly, but she has a similar, really nurturing, really creative energy. Justice, just keep the scales balanced. And I had Justice on another deck earlier, and that card indicates by its movement that there's a little bit more harmony, which is kind of what I see. But Justice is the, I want to say the card of karma. So Every action results in an equal or greater action. So everything you do, there's a reaction to. There's always some fallback, whether it's good or bad. So, card of karma. You do good, you get good. You pay, you receive. It's the law of reciprocity. The devil. Now, this guy's showing up. He can be addiction. He can also be a temptation to something shiny. I think in one of the ones, and this could be with this one too, this could be the devil. He looks real good, but he's going to bring you to a dark place. It could be whatever the shiny temptation is that he's offering may, and this is just coming into my head, may trigger some sort of a reaction to engage in a past story that is maybe no longer serving you. Maybe you've done a lot of healing and you're really doing pretty good, but something changes and this shiny thing comes up, and it's because it's shiny and pretty, you follow it for a bit, and then boom, you find yourself doubting yourself, telling yourself old stories about not being good enough or whatever the scenario is. I feel like he's the one offering you some false hope and that's going to turn dark. So if you have something bright and shiny showing, or someone who's, God, that too charming, too good looking, too good to be true, it is. This is the sense I get with this card. If there's something coming forward to you, being offered to you or being shown to you, that seems like it's too good to be true, watch out. There's some dishonesty with this card, and like I said, it often is a card that is connected to unhealthy behaviors, unhealthy sexuality, unhealthy materialism, which is why I keep saying bright, shiny objects, because it's going to draw you in with that, and then there's a lot of this other stuff that's about your spirituality. So I think it's a call to not lose that. But it's also a card about addiction, so it could be about literally chemical dependency, unhealthy sexual behavior. It could be anything like that. Anything that's imbalanced and unhealthy. This very pretty man is an invitation to. So you want to avoid him. You want to stick with her. She's the one who is full of light, laughter, creativity, and excitement and adventure. And you can see she's excited. She's creative power is burning. She's got all these wands around her that are on fire. This is a card of like celebration. This is exuberant. Even the horse is excited to go. This like some big adventure happening. And she's not really looking anywhere either. She's in her head because this is a creative thing that she's on. It's not like somebody's laying the path for her. She's moving with her own intuition, imagination, and creativity. Four of Pentacles, just a call to not have unhealthy attachments to the material world, right? Or to the materialism. So and it could be don't let fear rule your life at this point, because there's some fear over here. Judgment. I'm going to actually read what it says about the Judgment card. Okay, Judgment. And this is in the Light Seers Tarot. Judgment is the number 20 card. I'll show it to you here. So you can see just by the drawing that there's something spiritual happening here. This is about your spiritual awakening, self-realization and understanding, your redemption, knowing your motives and your heart to be true, total transparency, a glorious unveiling of spirit. So yeah, this is kind of getting comfortable in your own skin for sure. Accepting yourself as you are and embracing it. Acceptance is one thing, but learning to love yourself is something else. So this is going to that deeper level. And embracing your spirituality. So that starts to kind of integrate all the parts of you once you start to do that. So I'm going to touch on these three because I think that that is an invitation to, I want to say to not, so the 5 is about conflict, unfair advantage, experiencing loss, the need to build your skills and your confidence. So it's hollow victories. Which again, you had this guy, this bad devil guy back there. And he's about hollow victories. You remember the shiny, pretty shiny objects. And maybe you got some attentions for something you did out of luck, which could happen. And then the 4 of Swords, it's a time of deep rest, it says. Transmutation of shadow, healing from burnout, taking a brief holiday from your reality. It's renewal and self-love. I'm just going to skim part of it here. It is about healing and restoring. Yeah, restorative practices. It says something like meditation, journaling, energy healing. So whatever happened with this one, because this was the first card out. This is the only one that really has a place, because everything else kind of jumped out together. Yeah, it says you may have experienced some loss that has left you a little bit sore. Sometimes life isn't fair, and these inequities can drain our energy. And sometimes it's the fear of failure that does most of the draining. And I feel like that's what the shadow energy is here. And I have to read you this one because there's just more in it. This deception or betrayal, taking only what's needed. The universe bearing witness to true intentions, getting away with something, being strategic, being grateful for the resources you have, moving silently and quickly. And again, if it's upside down, it's about lying to yourself or others and a need for perspective. It says you're acting from a place of love and morality, and the universe witnesses my honest intentions. So I think all of those have to do, well, with justice too, of course, with these. So I think all these swords, this to me is saying, because swords is about your mental or your intellect. This to me is saying get really clear on whatever this is. You're really clear on what you want. I don't know if it's business or relationship or just your general lifestyle or whatever. Get clear about the things you want. This is self-doubt. And if you want to do something that you aren't good at yet, or you think you don't know, take a class. There's ways to get the information you need. And I think this one is about you're nurturing that shadow side. I mean, we all have the shadow side. It's part of us. It's part of us. So let it live. Let it live. Give it a space, though. Give it some room. I think what happens is we all try to be so light and love and everything. We don't have room for the shadow, and we sort of try to squash it. And then it comes out in really unpredictable, weird ways. So it's part of us. We all have it. And it's okay. It's what makes us human. So, and if the shadow self is like doubt or ego, whatever it is, figure out what it is, and then with your brilliant swords brain, kind of decide where to put that energy, where to put that shadow energy, because you can use it. I mean, if you're just mad all the time, and anger is what propels you, use it. Direct it in a way that's functional and useful. This is the thing that, again, this is a fear-driven, I think. It's a fear-driven, in this reading, it's a fear-driven card. This is hoarding, hanging on to something too tightly. You have enough, though. I mean, because this is a card that there's plenty. There's plenty to go around, but she's holding on tight to that purse. And this is the guy that's going to invite you to do something and then knock you down. He's just, I feel like this is about self-doubt for you. I don't know. It takes me a while of kind of working with these cards and coming up with a story, and all of a sudden they start talking to me, and I feel like this sense of adventure is with, this is where this card belongs, with these happy energies, with judgment, your spiritual, I think this is about opening up to your spiritual self, because that's the enlightened you, right? And this is a fabulous adventure. This is creative, which when you are on a spiritual quest or adventure or whatever, it really involves absolutely no one else but you in spirit. And I'm going to read you what it says about the Lovers, because almost everyone thinks, ooh, the Lovers is about romance. And it's not like it can't be, but it isn't necessarily. It's about choice, dualities, harmony. Could be a lover or a romantic relationship. It could be a friendship. It could be unity of pretty much any type. Choosing to allow yourself to fall in love. Healthy boundaries, soulmates. So here you have the friendships, and it doesn't have to be 3 people. It might be 1. So it could be that. The friendships, the collaboration, the celebration. And this 8 of Cups is walking away. I feel like it's walking away from these things that I want to say you've just plain outgrown. You've outgrown. You no longer have use. Once you figure out that all this stuff is not useful to you, the self-doubt, the oh, I don't know enough, or God, it happened. Okay, so yes, you can have that fluke where things, well, it's not a fluke. If you have a really successful something happen, something that you're really successful, you're really great at something, and it doesn't have to, you think, oh my God, that was just a fluke, or I could never be that lucky again, or I don't know what this is about, but for me, it would be about painting. Wow, I made a really great painting and everybody loves it. And then you want to stop because you don't think you can ever do it again. That's the doubt in this card. Thinking that you've been really successful by fluke. And then because it was just a lucky break. Not the case. But if you feel that way, in order to give yourself more confidence, take steps to learn more about whatever. So in my case, if it's a painting and I'm doubting I can do it again, just keep practicing. And that's it. Then you learn more. So that. And then this is, again, about the shadow side is the self-doubt. It's also about incubating, I think, taking that long break, and then figuring out how much do you need. And how much of this is deceit and how much is real? Really, how good are you at whatever this is that you want to be doing? How much education do you really think you need? Do you need a class, or do you need to just work at it some more? Most of the time, we just need to work at something some more. But if you feel like you need more than that, then take a class. But I think that whatever this is, isn't necessarily spiritual. But I think the spiritual part of you is saying if you start embracing the spiritual, the rest of this stuff will lighten up a little bit. So now I'm going to read you what it says in the Temple Path. As I show you the card, let me get to this page quickly first, and I'll read you, I think, probably the whole thing. spiritual purpose and support. Sorry about the glare. Receiving this card represents your own spiritual evolution. The winding path you are on leads to a blessed temple in a lovely garden, symbolizing the spiritual destiny your soul had in mind for this lifetime. This card upright, which I think this is how it came out, is here to tell you that what you're going through now is all part of your soul's process. So whatever this doubt might be, could be part of that. And it might not be doubt. That's just what's coming to my mind. So your situation will be whatever it is. You are on your karmic path and heading in the right direction, and the choices you make now are important for your personal growth and life lessons. The lights around the temple represent the spirit world, your family members and friends, angels and guides, all loving spirit helpers who long to assist you. Call upon them and be open to their wisdom and inspiration. This is wonderful, life-expanding time, so keep in mind your personal priorities as well as your spiritual connection. Following your higher intentions will help you move your life forward in dramatic ways, and connecting with spirit and your higher self will have a wonderful influence on all that you experience. Yeah, so following your higher intentions, it says, will help you move your life forward in dramatic ways. And that's what I'm seeing here. All of this is forward. This belongs here. Forward motion. No, I want to keep it here because I think I like the energy of that, like bursting. I like this, excitement, the adventure, the sense of adventure, because these are all really calm and spiritual and really beautiful, but it doesn't have to be that calm. It can be, doing spiritual work. All this, it's going to feel more like this when it starts to shift because all these doubts are going to go away. They're not going to go away. You're going to bust through them. You're going to do it anyway. That's what I'm seeing, which is where your decision making comes in. You're going to have doubts. People have doubts. It's just how we're built. And the thing is to acknowledge the doubt. Okay, I see you're there. That's fine. But you don't get to drive. You're not in charge. Doubt, you are not in charge of me. You are not the boss of me. I'm going to do my own thing, and I recognize that you're there, but I'm going to choose to not pay attention to you right now. So that's all that is. And then once you get to the point where you're comfortable, not even comfortable, but where you are capable of not allowing the doubt to drive you, you're driving yourself, and doubt has got a back seat now. It's still around because it doesn't go away that quickly, but it's got a back seat. It's not in charge. You're going to get, all of a sudden it's going to start, things are going to start opening up for you, and you're going to start to feel, again, it's not going to look like a big, it's not like you're going to go on a world tour adventure, although you could, I don't know, but it's going to feel, in your heart, you're going to feel like it's exhilarating in kind of a subtle way. I don't know if that's a good explanation, if exhilaration can be subtle. It might not look like anything to anybody else, but you're going to absolutely know the difference. And I am going to, I think I'll do some clarifiers with the Naked Heart, because this feels like it's about heart. Naked Heart Tarot. Can you get some clarifiers, please, for my Aries friends for their full moon in Libra? What is the moon in Libra bringing in for them? What is the light of this full moon in Libra going to show Aries? Just looking for a little clarification, please. What is this doubt that I'm seeing, or the shadow side? And what is the... Well, I guess here's the light and here's the shadow, right? I guess that's how that works. Interesting. That shouldn't take a genius, but it did take me a minute. 6 of Pentacles, so it feels like, more pentacles on the floor. Hang on, I'm going to get them. Okay, it feels like it's in the material world, which I kind of had a feeling it was maybe more business, lifestyle type stuff. I didn't feel, but it's still spiritual. See if there's anything else, because they fell on the floor, so I want to give it one more shot. Okay. And then here we have Sky Father. That is the Emperor in other decks. And he is the Divine Masculine. So, yeah, another spiritual energy. This deck is a little bit different, too, in what the way it describes things. Like here, for instance, is the Wheel of Fortune card. There's one deck that says it's the where synchronicity meets destiny. So it has to do with fate. And I think when you're on the path that feels like it's on the path of least resistance, things are opening up. Like I was talking about, when you're going to feel this energy, things start to open up. You'll start seeing synchronicities. You'll think about somebody that you haven't talked to in years. They call out of the blue. The other example I use is you're driving in a car and you know you're going to this place that's super crowded, and you drive right up to the front door. Someone's leaving you, pulling, you get the spot, because things just, you always are at the right place at the right time. That's how it feels when synchronicity is happening. Opportunities show up almost before you think of them, and they feel like the right ones. You know, and sometimes you have choices to make as a result, which is happening with the Lovers. So what this card says is that a movement within stability. It's a turning point. It's an advancement. So it's the cosmic unfolding of the universe, weaves its way through my life to provide me with change that is needed at this time. I trust the change that is happening because the only sure thing about life is that it's constant motion, perpetually moving me forward. My heart is open to unfolding of the divine plan as it presents me with new opportunities. I deservingly absorb all that is offered during this cycle, as I know it is spinning more magic into my life, which is what all this was kind of feeling like to me. This spiritual awakening is going to be like this kind of synchronicity. It's going to feel, you know, like when you pull into that spot that you never thought you were going to get, and you're like, yes! And you feel like it's a victory. And it's just no big deal. You just got a parking spot. You know what I mean? So on the outside, it looks like nothing. But inside, it's like your luck just seems to have changed. And it's not luck. It's synchronicity, because you're doing the work of the spiritual stuff to raise your vibration so that other stuff just falls into place really, really well. And that's when synchronicity shows up. Things falling into place seemingly effortlessly is, I think, pretty much the definition of synchronicity. It feels like magic when it happens. And like I said, it can be subtle. That's okay. 6 of Pentacles. This is about acceptance, kind of going with the flow. There's movement here. And the 6, and this is in the worldly realm, because Pentacles is the earthly manifestation, so material wealth and all of that. So it says you rely on yourself to direct the flow of the abundance in my life. When I'm in a position of prosperity, I freely give to those who are less fortunate. So there's a feeling of reciprocity here. Giving you shall, what you give you get, that kind of thing. It says here, as you nurture my ideas around giving and receiving with ease, I make space, knowing I'm right where I'm meant to be. And this is the very act, it says, of giving and receiving freely creates an energetic path of beauty that allows for the flow of abundance beyond what I can see. So this is about the law of reciprocity. What you give, what you reap, you shall sow. What you give, you get. And it keeps things flowing, right? I mean, that's why they do the stimulus checks. They give something to you so that we give out and keep things moving. That's what it is. So here's the Nine of Pentacles. This is financial success. This is what you have to look forward to. If you follow your spiritual quest, it kind of is true. Accomplishment, independence, prosperity. And it's you've worked hard for your achievements, and now it says, I'm worthy of abundance, both spiritually and physically. When I take pride in what I've accomplished, I can bask in the paradise I've created. It goes on to say more, but I think the message is pretty clear. I think it's pretty clear. To me, it feels like this is a spiritual quest, and you're going to have fun with it. This card really, really tells me you're going to have fun with it. You're going to all of a sudden, even if you have doubts, even if you have fear, try. These two just came back into my mind. It's like these three things. Don't let this fear or sense of lack drive you, because this lady's hoarding stuff. This guy can be sneaky and take too much. I mean, there's some thievery there, maybe, because this is a card that can be interpreted different ways. But since this one's here and there's all this other stuff, I kind of think it's just a caution to not let fear rule everything. So in spite of the fear, again, you can acknowledge it. Yes, you have it. It's there. Don't let it take charge. It's not in control of you. It's with you. It's part of you. Of course it is, but it's not in control of you. I don't have a good analogy for that. I thought I'd think of one, but I don't. Sorry. I think I'm going to ask the Wisdom Oracle for a card for a final blessing for my Aries friends. Whoops. Do we have a final blessing for my Aries friends for this full moon, please, in Libra? These cards are super stiff, and so they shuffle a little clunky. So I do it a couple extra times. Okay, Spirit, do we have a final blessing or message for my Aries friends for this full moon? Okay. In Libra. Not for you. So apparently, and that I think could go back to this, something seems like it was presented, but it's not working out for some reason, and it's because it's not for you, or at least not for this time. I will consult the book so that I'm not just making stuff up. Yeah. A clear knowing that something is being denied you. Rejection is God's protection. So that's like this card back here. The Five of Wands, one of the meanings of that. Let's see. Was about conflict. Oh, no. Sorry, I'm in the wrong one. Conflict, unfair advantage, experiencing loss, And that's why it says the need to build your skills and your confidence are hollow victories. So experiencing loss, hollow victories. So not for you yet, right? So it might be that something better, because everything else here, Wheel of Fortune, I mean, these are movement. It's all in the material world. It's like you are completely comfortable. And because those are all presented with Wheel of Fortune, which is, right, fate and synchronicity with the divine male energy, this is when your spiritual self is balanced, all this other stuff is like, it seems like that's coming forward. The choice is, I think you have to just not dwell maybe on the fear or the fact that something didn't come through. It doesn't mean that you're not worthy or good enough. It just is not the right time or not the right situation. There's other stuff coming along here. And I feel like this, making the decision to just, maybe you do start to try and learn more about something, and through that process, the thing you're supposed to be doing, or the thing that's more enjoyable, more gratifying, the one that lets you feel like this is the thing that comes in, so that you can have all this balance. You've got this harmony. You've got the spiritual and the material world really in union, right? And this card is about union too, and that could be the union. The union could be the physical and the spiritual. So it feels like that's what it is, because that's what the Temple card is about. This one, I think, and this one, so it's all about that. But I think whatever your doubts are, Aries, I want to say walk away from it, because that's what you're doing here. But it's a part of you, so just make it go in the back seat, okay? So yeah, let your fears, quit letting them drive you. Put them in the back or in the trunk. They can go in the trunk. They don't need light. Set them aside. Hey, thanks for tuning in. I'm sorry this got a little bit weird, but I appreciate you watching. And I'll see you for the new moon. Thanks. Bye.